from across the ocean and around the globe, bringing the latest news home to you. War. The Tan war machine has begun to mobilize in their quest for world domination. Here we see the tyrannical Tan commander as he vows to capture and destroy all green territories and claim them for his own. In response, our forces have been dispatched to hold our borders secure. To the northern mountains, and the western desert, and as far as the southern swamps, our boys stand ready to resist the Tan invasion. Invasion! Tan forces have crossed our border, and the green response has been swift and dramatic. But things are heating up. These dramatic shots depict the intensity and fury of this contest. Combat cameramen have risked their lives bringing you these shots of our boys pushing the Tan scourge back. With the dawn come our aircraft, bringing paratroopers to reinforce the green counterstrike. Today the battle is ours. Tomorrow is up to you.
Well. Steam added these games, and once I saw them, I had to replay them. Mainly because when I was younger, I'd play the hell out of these, ranging from the PC to PlayStation. Though some of the games were different, they were all made and published by 3DO. The PC games were something special. Each game operates the same. Other than Toys in Space, each menu has a boot camp option to let you get a feel of the game, and then a campaign mode which has multiple missions to complete. One complaint I do have, and it's going to be noticeable in this video, is I couldn't capture a lot of gameplay due to graphical glitches. No matter what I did, what patches I went through, and self-installing the patches, no matter what I did, it just had a lot of tearing issues and a lot of screen issues. And to that end of it, it sucks. But the first game I didn't really play as much as 2 and Toys in Space. However, it's important to the series because it's our stomping grounds. The games are classified as real-time tactics, and honestly, it's hard to find a game that was this fun and simple. The darker styled game would obviously be something more like the original Postal game. During the missions, you have to do things like find a weapons depot, find documents, or fixing things, which you do with the wrench item. And there's actually a lot going on and a lot of moving parts for it just being the first game and kind of the trial run. The end game and the end goal is to stop Commander Plastro, or General Tan as most people call him because of Sarge's heroes. He is, obviously, the leader of the Tan. Just as I showed in the intro, a lot of your visuals are based on old-time videos from the World War II era, but obviously more goofy. The series as a whole has this charm and reels you in, but let's go to the second game, because that recorded a lot better, and there wasn't a lot going on in my playthrough of this, because I really couldn't play for long, which sucks, but it is what it is. The second game starts right at the ending of the first, where you enter a portal going into quote unquote the real world. But to our toy sergeant here, it's all alien and foreign. He just wants to go home, back to the plastic. So you start off with the crew, and you're in this kitchen. Now, don't feel bad if you can't keep them healed here. It's bound to happen, and don't worry about it, because even in the cutscene, it only shows Sarge making it out. This game has a multitude of levels based on the real world and the plastic world, taking advantage of the portals and things like that. Generally, they gave Sarge more character in this game, commenting more on small things, as well as having some snide comments about certain weapons, certain items. He can radio into HQ randomly if he notices something. This and Toys in Space were absolutely my favorite. My nephew and I would be glued to the screen, planning on how to take down the enemy and which buildings were safe to blow up and get certain items. I'd spend so much time making sure that each run is just perfect, and if you're able to get the prisoners back, they'll give you useful hints about where something may be, a weapon, a mission item. It's basically just dependent on the NPC themselves because they are programmed, to say certain dialogue. This game is also the introduction of the Blue Spy, and new factions popping up, a slew of missions. They're more in depth, and the loading times are cut down, boasting more time and a smoother transition on multiple missions in the same level, rather than having a level select that they did in the first game. Releasing only 1 year after the first game, graphically, story, and gameplay were all updated and fixed for a more smoother, streamlined playing experience. Not just that, the story also happens to take the craziest twist that includes spies, zombies, your colonel going apeshit crazy, and a mad scientist that has some secret arsenal, and after Plastro loses most of his forces, he ends up just laughing at Sarge, telling him to enjoy the victory. Now, for me personally, I would spend hours, like I said before, hours playing this game. I was devoted to it, because you do have your squad, and you want to try to keep them all active. It doesn't really change much, it's more of just, it makes you as the player feel better. To that end, I wish it did change a little bit more, but I could understand with how much was added and the limitations at the time, that something like that couldn't really be accounted for. Now, if you do have any surviving members of your platoon, they will join you on the next mission, which I think is a nice little feat there. This way you could kind of start off strong in the next mission. And there's a lot more planning that goes into this too, and I thoroughly enjoy that. It really brings the tactics part to the table. Whereas the first game you could probably cheese with the main rifle, this one actually encourages you to use other items and think about what you're going to do next. Alright, let's check out Toys in Space. Toys in Space takes everything you know and streamlines it even further, utilizing the entirety of the mouse to play the game, meaning left and right click. The new entry in this series introduces much more than even 2, with the whole battle series, which you can play with multiple people in a LAN party, or in this case, online, and multiple gameplay types like Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, and much, much more. The story takes place right after 2, but while the mad scientist is working on his next idea, and Sarge is taking down more Tans with his crew, aliens appear, and Plastro takes the time to discuss terms, which means the Greens are left with the galactic armies, who contact them through a garbled transmission, adding a whole new layer of combat and levels to the game, new units, and a larger story than 2, which seems insane because it came out the same year as 2, with missions like saving civilians, blowing up alien spaceships, gathering your troops and intergalactic troops that have been captured, and a blooming romance between Sarge and Tina Tomorrow. Who is Tina Tomorrow? Well, Tina Tomorrow is the one who sends the garbled transmission and the leader of the Intergalactic Commandos, who aligns with Sarge's goals, and they team up. This game was seriously one of my favorites of the series. With the introduction of the battle mode, I'd spend hours working for the ending, and you can use the battle mode as a sense of practice too, learning routes and gameplay styles, and just overall, broadening your horizon to different ways of playing. There's even a special animation for if you lose a mission, or if you die on a mission, rather than just a radio transmission, and these all change per level. With a larger scale, it almost felt as if the series was going to be untouchable, but like all good things, it was just left in the past. I think honestly it has to do with an influx of games, and while a lot of the early series were fun, you also had some games that were questionable at best. But while a lot of those games hold nostalgia for me, the undeniable fact is, these tactics-styled games were a different yet charming entry point. And that's not to say games like Sarge's Heroes or Army Men 3D aren't good, but for me, it's about those early tactics games. It seemed like the further the games got, the further they'd stray away from this style, and that sucks. In all honesty, I feel these games captured something different, while still giving you that high-octane action. And I also recorded this video in the way that I did, meaning not showing each and every bit of the levels, because I wanted to introduce you to the game. I wanted to take you on this journey. And if you take the time, you could play the game too. If not, then it's a time capsule, something that was part of an era, but something special to some players, including myself. But alas, this is where we leave off. I hope you all enjoy, and thank you all for watching, and I appreciate you all. And 1K gang, let's go. If there's anything at all that you'd like for me to cover on one of these episodes of Who Remembers, go ahead and comment down below, whether it's a game, console, a gaming device, or a music device, a video device, no matter what it is, I will do my best to do some research on it and make a video out of it. It could be funny, it could be stupid, it could be just informative, or it could take you back to that era. So yeah, let me know down in the comments section below, and thank you all once again.